We came across the SWP's membership bulletin. This is, from the headquarters. Mostly it's pretty boring, but we've just come across one, party notes that announces the replacement of Charlie Kimber as editor of Socialist Worker, and definitely more significantly, the replacement and resignation from the SWP Central Committee of Amy Leather. She was joint national secretary, and effectively after the Delta affair, what was that, 2013, 2014, I'm not quite sure, but around about then, we've talked about her being the effective leader of the SWP in terms of being in charge of the organization. I mean, in the most important thinker in the SWP is clearly Alex Kalinikos, but Amy has not only been replaced, she's resigned being a member of the Central Committee. And, again, I'm not quite sure, because they don't give you reasons. They simply say, well, thank you, Amy, for being, such a wonderful Central Committee member. You have to start, in these circumstances, you have to sort of think, don't you? And given actually that it was Amy Leather and Charlie Kimber that were most closely associated with Martin Smith, Comrade Delta, who of course had to stand down from the SWP and disappeared from the SWP in disgrace, wasn't it? Because of rape charges. I don't know whether they were false or whatever, we don't know. Either way, of course, that was after having been exonerated by a discipline committee of the SWP, disciplined by mates, but also supported at SWP conferences. This is in the midst of a split, and what we had is Martin's supporters, led by, apparently, Charlie Kimber and Amy Leather, clapping and stamping their feet in solidarity with Martin Smith. And there's another one that ought to be mentioned in this context, and that is Paul Blackledge. He was a member of the editorial board of International Socialism, contributed, quite competent articles for that journal. He was charged in an anonymous blog of some sort with sexual harassment. What did the SWP do? They dumped him straight away, clearly in reaction to the drubbing and the disgrace of having defended and stood by Martin Smith for so long. They simply dumped him. But the problem for the SWP is that Paul went to court. He took, I don't know how you do it, but he did. He took his anonymous attackers to court, and it was in front of Mr. Justice Sani, who found him innocent when it came to legal expenses, said that the accuser must pay. Now, who the damned accuser was, I still don't know. Does anybody? I don't know. The accuser would, but they kept anonymous. They did not appear in court. Either way, Paul Blackledge's barrister was Eunice Bakash, former, I think, Unison militant, and because he knew Paul Blackledge, defended him and basically did his, legal services, from my understanding, would be for free. So he was found innocent, and the SWP suspended Yanis and the Newcastle branch of the SWP for standing in solidarity with him. And of course, what they've been demanding is the resignation, one Charlie Kimber and another Amy Leather. Now, I don't know whether any of that adds up to the story, but I just think that these are important elements that look like, at least, a credible version of events. We don't know, but I would have thought myself that the SWP would be awash with rumour because we don't have any explanation. Do we deserve an explanation? I think we do, not least because the SWP mysteriously, for all of us, issued earlier this year, this strange statement about the Martin Smith case. You know, this is, remember, 10 years ago. They suddenly issued it. So they seem to be under pressure externally when it comes to such questions. So again, I don't know what's going on. If anyone does know what's going on, please enlighten me. I don't think this is a matter of scandal, by the way. I'm not out to blacken anyone's name, but I am out saying that these things should best dealt with openly. If you've got rid of Charlie Kimber, if you've got rid of Amy Leather because of this scandal, we should know. The SWP membership should know. The rest of the movement should know. We want to know what's going on in the SWP. Is this a prelude for a split? I doubt it. But then I didn't think that the Martin Smith episode was a prelude for a split. And indeed, it wasn't it. So like 3 splits later, there you are.